Okay, so that completes the overview of one of the existing sets of files and showing you how the basic setup works. Now let's go about creating a new one. So one of the funny things about this app was I wrote it quite a while ago when I was working with Karsten Groen, and some of you know Karsten, the creator of the CTU and the CRU and a bunch of really excellent, well-engineered Jetty telemetry systems. And Karsten had done an eight input temperature probe, and as someone who loves big 5-cylinder radial engines and things, the idea of having all the cylinder heads instrumented and some of the exhausts instrumented with temperatures was terrific. And so I worked on the app because I wanted to use Karsten's temperature sensor, and of course, since it had 8 inputs, we were typically using examples of multi-cylinder engines. And so Harry told me that he had some interest from some folks in a temperature probe reading application. And so I dusted off the one I'd written for Karsten and made it generic so it could handle anybody's temperature probes. And as we were getting ready to think about releasing it, I noticed that we didn't have a single cylinder engine in our examples, which is kind of funny actually, because that's, I'm sure, the most common use case. But of course, when the app was written, it was written to show what you could do with 8. So let's go through the process and see how that would work. So I've got my editor up here. So let's do let's create a new file. So single cylinder .json. Okay. And that's in my image screens directory under DFM temp. You see here I'm doing it on the emulator, but it would be the same directory structure where JS is basically the apps directory. And of course that file doesn't exist, so let's go back and let's grab all of this and paste that in, and then let's start editing this file. So single cylinder is what we decided to call it. So we're going to replace this name with singlecylinder.png. We're only going to have one probe because it's really only the one cylinder unless we add a exhaust probe or something. So let's get rid of all of that. And this is our very simple file for a single cylinder engine, and this is the .json. This is the master file that never gets changed. So whenever you reset back to master, you're resetting to the JSON. When we get done, we'll make a copy of this of the JSON into a JSN file, which will be the working copy.